Of the billions of people out there with different backgrounds and personalities and Myers-Briggs tests, I believe we can all be divided into two different worlds: the animal people world and the non-animal people world. So I've been an animal person since before cat videos were on the internet. I mean, I grew up literally fantasizing about pet ownership. When I was little and I had a hard time going to sleep at night, I'd close my eyes and I'd picture myself pushing an old-timey baby carriage filled with puppies and kittens. I don't know where I got that image from, like maybe a cheesy calendar at a dentist's office, or I don't know where. But it brought me a lot of calm as like a naturally anxious kid. My parents, totally not animal people at all. My mom grew up in Queens, so to her, pets were really just unwanted rats that didn't pay rent. And my dad is still in the middle of the world's longest con, which is that he's allergic. Super convenient. So they were very much on the non-animal side of this hot political issue. So predictably, my sister Becca and I begged them for a dog or a cat, or we were not even picky. We didn't care. And by the time I turned 10, I finally got my dream to come true, and they got me a really sweet, cuddly hermit crab. Every child's dream. And the hermit crab did not live very long. And before we knew it, we were back to square one, begging, please, can we have a dog or a cat or something fuzzier, please? And that was when we got promoted to the mammal category, and we were allowed to get a hamster. Now, my parents made it very clear from the beginning that they wanted nothing to do with this hamster. This was going to be Becca and Mai's responsibility. And we took it super seriously. You know, this was pre-Google, and we went to the library and we checked out all these books about hamster care and hamster best practices and what to feed them and what cage and the whole shebang. And so we quite confidently walked into the pet store about a week later and asked the pimple-faced pet store employee for one male hamster, please. Because in our research, we learned that for some reason, male hamsters were friendlier pets, which, whatever. But, so we were all excited. We got our little guy, and we named him the most testosterone-soaked name we could think of, which was He-Man. And we brought He-Man home, and we put him in this brightly colored plastic cage, the kind with the wheel, and they have the tubes that kind of look like the Minneapolis Skyway system. And we loved watching him. It was so interesting, but we were also kind of scared of him. He-Man was kind of bitey and agitated, and he was just kind of a dick. I don't know. I mean, like, I would be really agitated and bitey too if I had just been freaking displaced. So try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Day 2 of He-Man, he was starting to make all these weird noises, these like guttural, intense sounds. And Beck and I, we asked our mom, we're like, is he okay? Is he sick? You know, what's happening? And she's like, of course the girls pick like the one weird hamster that's sick or messed up. Something's wrong with it. And we learned that, he was making this noise because he was in active labor. And before we knew it, He-Man had given birth to 7 blind, newborn, pink, furless baby hamsters in his wheel. And at first I was like, this is amazing. My baby carriage fantasy of baby animals is finally coming true. I can't wait. But the reality of these baby animals, totally different. For a couple reasons. First of all, the baby hamsters, they were not cute. Which is like blasphemous to say about any baby animal, I know. But they looked like the inside of pigs in a blanket, but without the blanket. And they were so loud, like the shrill, possessed cries of these baby hamsters were keeping us up. We asked our mom to move the cage into the basement, which, what kids want to be further away from the baby animals? But the worst, most egregious crime was He-Man's parenting skills. I'm not a parent, so I try not to judge other parents. She was a terrible mom, terrible. About a week after the babies were born, I'd come downstairs after Hebrew school because I'd heard this weird whirling and clunking sound along with the baby hamster cries. And I'd found He-Man running on her hamster wheel that the babies had been born in, trampling them again and again and again, and they're flying all over the wheel, screaming. And it's like, I get that she was just trying to get in like her postpartum workout and get her hamster body back. But that was a lesson in the circle of life I was not emotionally prepared for. And Beck and I, that was when we decided to rename He-Man Psycho Hamster. It's a little more fitting. So, we knew we couldn't keep the babies. They were gonna have more babies. It was gonna be a freaking menagerie. And honestly, we didn't want to keep Psycho Hamster either for obvious reasons. She was pretty terrible. So I felt conflicted, was I betraying my fellow animal people? And was this what was this saying about me? But then also, I was still hearing these possessed hamster baby cries in a very telltale hurt way. So they all needed to go back to the pet store immediately. Today, I own a cat. His name is Puck, and he's orange and white. He's 5 years old. He's still alive, and he's yet to give birth to any kittens, all of which I consider to be a huge pet ownership success.